Digital Foundry has been doing what Digital Foundry does and testing all the new third-party games on both the PS5 and Xbox Series X. What they're finding, and you can see this by going over to the Digital Foundry YouTube channel and checking it out, is that these third-party games seem to be running much better on the PS5. So why is this? What's going on? I thought the Series X is the world's most powerful console. Has Xbox lied to us? Is this going to be a long-term issue? Will PlayStation dominate Xbox again the way they did this last generation? In today's video, we're going to answer all these questions. But first, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. We're the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. We've got videos dropping every single day, a live Xbox podcast that we record here on this channel every Friday. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and be informed when we do go live. So Digital Foundry has been testing all the new games on the new systems and analyzing the frame rates, ray tracing, resolution, and performance. Now on the first-party games, Xbox is crushing it, which is to be expected, but Xbox really doesn't have any major first-party releases right now that can show off or take full advantage of the Series X. So Xbox has to rely on third-party titles to show off the power and performance capabilities of their console. In Digital Foundry's direct comparison of third-party games like AC Valhalla, Devil May Cry 5, Dirt 5, and Cold War, the PS5 does seem to outperform the Xbox Series X. Now, there are a lot of videos and articles out there right now claiming that the Xbox isn't living up to its promise and that the PS5 is a better machine, that this is evidence of that. But I think this is a very short-sighted view, and I think it's also a simplistic view of things that are happening. I think what's actually happening is a little bit more nuanced than that. I think we need to ask ourselves why this is happening, first and foremost. For that, I want to turn to Tom Warren over at The Verge, who has an excellent piece on all of this. I have linked his article in the description of this video, so make sure you go give it a read. Here's what he said. He said, all of these comparisons show that the Xbox Series X isn't outperforming the PS5 in most scenarios, and it's often Sony's console taking the lead. Some of these differences could be down to bugs, but I've been speaking to developers who wish to remain anonymous about the Xbox Series X development environment, and it's clear things are a little complicated. Microsoft only allowed developers to submit games for Xbox Series X certification in June, after delivering an update to its Game Developers Kit, the GDK, that followed the company's rather tight schedule for dev kit allocations, all while I've been consistently hearing that many developers had access to PS5 dev kits far in advance of Xbox versions. He goes on to say, it always takes time for developers to get used to the new software and tools involved in creating games for next-gen consoles. One developer tells me Microsoft's switch to the GDK has been troublesome for basic things like user profile switching or gamepad linking. Microsoft has spent years improving its tooling situation since the Xbox One, which was a messy launch period for developers. Still, I consistently hear that Sony's tools are superior even in the basics of providing more clear documentation for developers to follow. These performance gaps, weird bugs, and differences between the Xbox Series X and PS5 versions of the games look like issues related to the games rather than a platform problem for the Xbox. If Microsoft delivered dev kits and tools far later than Sony, then it would take creators more time to optimize further for Xbox. It may also explain why we didn't see a lot of Xbox Series X gameplay in the months ahead of launch, but Sony was happy to regularly deliver PS5 gameplay. He continues, expect to see a lot of patches either way. Microsoft is also working with developers to resolve these issues and has acknowledged the comparison videos in a statement to The Verge. Now, Microsoft says, quote, we are aware of performance issues in a handful of optimized titles on Xbox Series X/S and are actively working with our partners to identify and resolve the issues to ensure an optimal experience. As we begin a new console generation, our partners are just now scratching the surface of what next-gen consoles can do, and minor bug fixes are expected as they learn how to take full advantage of our new platform. We are eager to continue working with developers to further explore the capability of the Xbox Series X in the future. So essentially what Tom Warren suggests here is that developers are behind on the Xbox Series X technology. Xbox basically in their statement acknowledges that, and Phil Spencer has even said that they were later than Sony in getting their tech to devs as they were waiting for some specific AMD technology in their chip. Now, of course, critics of Xbox could perhaps say that this is just an excuse. However, I don't think that this is correct. We just got a brand new AC Valhalla Valhalla patch with 1.4 that dropped, which Digital Foundry has already analyzed, and it does look to have fixed any of the frame rate issues or frame tearing issues the Series X has had compared to the PS5 in their previous comparison video. So the fact that Ubisoft was able to provide a patch so quickly does, at least in my mind, seem to suggest that both Tom Warren's and Microsoft's assessment of the situation is indeed correct. I don't think what we're seeing here is a repeat of the Xbox One launch, where the Xbox One was the inferior gaming machine. That doesn't look to be the case at all. I do think Xbox will deliver on the Series X being the most powerful machine on the planet. I think they're all in on that new AMD RDNA 2 technology that's there. That's what Phil Spencer was referring to when he said that they were waiting for that technology before they took their game kits to developers. And so I do think it's going to be over time that we do see the Xbox Series X delivering on that promise, on that paper of being the most powerful machine on the planet. Now, while this clearly hasn't affected sales, it does underlie in my mind the importance of Xbox first-party titles. It would have been nice to have a Halo Infinite or Microsoft Flight Simulator or Forza Motorsport to be able to point to a game that fully utilizes the Series X at its full capacity. And we're going to get that, to be sure, and I for one cannot be more excited to see those. In the meantime, it will be interesting to see how well Xbox continues to support developers in helping them catch up to their technology. The big question here is, will they do as good of a job of it as Sony has done in that department? And honestly, it's just a we will wait and see on that note. I'd love to know what you guys think of all of this. Is this a real concern for you, or do you think it's just the nature of new technology? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it for the video today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this video on social media and tell your friends about the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell and be notified whenever a new video drops and when we stream and record our Xbox podcast live right here on this channel every single Friday. If you'd like to further support the channel, hit the join button, where you will get access to exclusive emotes, channel badges, and content. Thanks so much for watching. I love hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you next time.